Hello, welcome to another Easify video. Today, I'm going to tell you all about what's new in Easify version 4.67. In this version, we've got some excellent new features for you, including an all-new VAT return generator that enables you to create VAT returns in Easify and submit them to HMRC using Making Tax Digital. We've also included a new payment plan system, and that allows you to easily split customers' orders and purchase orders into multiple installments. I also want to tell you about some of the performance optimizations that we've done specifically to the point of sale system. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to look at is the new VAT system. So we'll launch Easify Pro and I'll show you what's new in there. You'll click OK to that. We'll log in. Now with Easify version 4.67, if you click on Finances, you'll get a VAT returns option. And if you click on that, it takes us to a list of our VAT returns, and we've got one on the system already, one that we've put on there as a demo. And if I double click the VAT return, you can see that we have the Edit VAT Return window. Now this basically mirrors the 9 boxes on the form that you would fill in for HMRC. And as you can see, we've got some dummy data in here at the moment. And on the VAT return, you can set a start date and an end date and a due date. And Easify basically will automatically generate this VAT return for you just based on the sales and purchases that you've made in Easify. So you don't have to do anything particularly different in Easify 4.67. You just carry on raising orders, raising purchases as you ordinarily would. But now you have the option of coming in here and generating a VAT return. This can be linked with HMRC, so it supports Making Tax Digital. Now, I won't go into massive detail about the workings of the VAT return window. We've got some other videos which I'll link in the description below, so you can go and have a look at those to get a bit more detail on that. But what I'll do is I'll just show you some of the things that have changed in this version. So if we close that down, and we close that, one of the things you'll need to make sure when you start using VAT returns in version 4.67 is that you set up your purchasing options. So if you go to Tools, Options, click on Purchases, you can see that we've got the Purchase Types window. Now in here, you'll notice we've now got a VATable column, and that basically means that you can specify whether a purchase type is subject to VAT or not. So as you look through the list, you'll see some purchase types are subject to VAT and some aren't. And we've preset these. So all the built-in purchase types that already exist, we've already set the correct value for VATable in the new version. But it may be that you've added some yourself. So if you've added your own custom purchase types, you'll need to come in here and actually tick these boxes before you can do a VAT return. Any custom purchase types you've added will appear with a black square. And the black square, as you can see on the row where you would add a new purchase type, just means undefined. It means that it's not ticked, it's not unticked, it's unknown. So any black squares you see in here, you'll need to go in there and either tick them or untick them appropriately. So you'll either know how to do that yourself or talk to your accountant and they'll be able to advise you which of your purchase types are subject to VAT and which aren't. Okay, so moving on, if we go to Tools and VAT Settings, there's some changes in here. And one of the changes we've made is we've added some new VAT codes. So you'll notice we now have ECG, ECS, RCG, RCS, and RCM. And these are special VAT codes that you can use for sales and purchases to the EC or other foreign countries where you may be required to do reverse charge VAT for them. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of when and how you should use these. That's really down to you and your accountant and how you do business. But the codes are there for when you need them. So you can use these special VAT codes on products if you need to do trade with overseas companies or EC companies as well. You'll notice as well, we have an option for VAT scheme, which is new. So you can set your VAT scheme as either standard or cash. Again, you'll know what you need to set there, whether you use a standard VAT scheme or a cash-based VAT scheme. And if you're not sure, ask your accountant and they'll tell you which scheme you're currently using. Moving along, we have the VAT registration number. Now, VAT registration number is only used if you use Making Tax Digital. So only if you want to link Easify to your Making Tax Digital HMRC account online will you need to enter a VAT registration number, and then you would click on the button Authorised for HMRC Making Tax Digital. Now, again, we've got a whole video about that, so I won't go over that again. You can watch the video if you need to find out more information about how to connect to HMRC from Easify. I'll put a link in the description below for that one. Something to bear in mind, though, is that before you do authorize for HMRC Making Tax Digital, you will need to register for Making Tax Digital with HMRC. And again, I'll put a link below so that you can go to the relevant HMRC webpage and make sure you're registered for HMRC before you go through the process of linking Easify into it. Okay, the next new feature we've got is payment plans. So we click cancel to that. Payment plans, as we've said, are a way that you can actually raise an order in Easify and then create a payment plan for it. So you can bill your customer in installments. And it's the same for purchases. If you have a supplier that invoices you in installments, you can easily record installments on purchases as well. Now, we've got a dedicated video that goes into all the details of how to do that. So I won't go into massive detail here other than give you a quick overview. I'll put a link in a description below and you can click on that if you want to find out more about payment plans. So let's look at orders and quotes. And if we go to orders and quotes and we open up an order, you can see here we have an order. Well, let's just expand this a little bit. So we have an order, and let's say that we want to create a payment plan. Let's say we want to bill our customer 10% deposit and the remainder on delivery. Ordinarily, you would raise an order and you would go print, and you could print an invoice, and in Easify you'd have the single invoice for the full amount. What you can do now is you can click on the new payment plan button, and this pops up the payment plans window. And like I said, I won't go into massive detail with this. I'll just give you a quick overview for this what's new in Easify 4.67 video. So you can see here we have two sections surrounded by a blue line, and each one is an installment. So in the first one we have the initial payment, and the second one we have the final payment. By default, Easify creates two installments for a payment plan. And what we want to do is have the initial payment at 10%. So we click on the calculator button, and then you click 10%, and Easify calculates the first initial payment to be 10% of the order total, which you can see down here. And then for the final payment, we click on the calculator and we'll say 90%. And we click OK. And then I'll apply my changes. And now you'll notice if you go to the print menu, you now have two invoices you can print. So you can print an invoice for the initial payment and you can print an invoice for the final payment. So if you click on initial payment and click on that, there's some information pops up. I won't read that here. We go into that in full detail in the payment plans video. And an invoice will be printed, previewed on the screen. And you can see that on this one, we have the order detail, the order summary rather, at the top. And then below we have initial payment and the invoice total. And equally, you could go in and you could say print invoice for final payments, and you can OK that, and then you'll get an invoice for the final payment. Similarly, you can do the same on purchases. You could go into purchases, and let's open up a purchase, and you could set up a payment plan for a purchase in much the same way. You could say that we're going to say pay our suppliers billed us 10%. So this one is for the remainder, be 90%. And you could set up a payment plan for a purchase just as easily. Okay, we've also done some performance tuning to Easify as well. We always like to try and optimize the performance here and there as we go. So let's have a look at that. What I'll do is we'll just get rid of this and we'll cancel that, close that. And the optimizations we've made are to the point of sale. So if I load up the point of sale window, and I'm just going to click this button here, Control, or you could press Control W. I'm just going to window it so it's a bit easier for you to see in the middle there. And just drag that bar over to the right a little bit. And the first optimization that we made is to adding products. Now, you may not really see that on this version because I'm running locally at the moment, just for the demonstration. But as you add a product, we've optimized the code that actually adds products to orders. And like I say, because I'm running locally, you may not see much of a difference as we add and remove products. But if you're running on an Easify cloud server, and let's say you've got a fairly slow internet connection, then you should see a decent performance boost on how long it takes to add products to orders. Okay, the other area that we've optimized, if we just close the POS, I don't want to save that sale. The other area of the point of sale that we've optimized is if we go to Tools and Options, and we go to point of sale. Now, this only applies if you use the advanced print options. So if on your point of sale, you've enabled advanced print options, and we click the button and have a look in there. Now, advanced print options, if you're not familiar with it, basically this allows you to, as well as printing a till receipt at the point of sale. So let's say you take a sale, you take payment at a till, the till opens, the receipt prints, and you give people their change. What you can have Easify do is also print A4 paperwork at the same time. So you could print a thermal till receipt, but you could also print an A4 invoice to a laser printer or whatever you want. So here you can see you can specify other paperwork to print. So let's say you had an order invoice you wanted to print, and let's say you wanted that to go to your Canon MX920 printer next to the counter. So you print a till receipt and you can give the person an A4 printed invoice as well. And let's say you have a job card and you want to print a job card. These printers aren't real printers necessarily, but it gives you an idea. So we'll have a job card sent off to the Posiflex PP8800, and let's say that that's in a different part of the building. So that's in the workshops where you want to print a job card to tell the guys there's a job coming in, and maybe there's delivery notes, and you want that sent off to the dispatchers, and that's going to go to another kind of printer. I say these are just printers I have to have listed. So ordinarily, if you're set up like this so that you print full-sized A4 paperwork at the point of sale, the way the code used to work was you would take the sale on the point of sale, and the print jobs would be sent to all the full-size printers, and then the print job would be sent to the till receipt printer, the thermal receipt printer that is, and the cash drawer would open. Now the problem is sometimes these printers can take a little while to spool up, or it can take a little while to spool the print jobs, and we noticed that for some people they're experiencing a delay, which means that it was taking quite a while for the till to open and for the receipt to print and things like that. So we've changed the way that works now. We've changed this so that when you print from the point of sale and you have advanced print options enabled, we open the cash drawer, we print the till receipt, and then we send the jobs to all the other printers, because it's quite likely that if you're running with this kind of setup, the customer doesn't really mind. The customer may not need the full-size paperwork, and they can be on their way with a till receipt and their change. Meanwhile, all the jobs are spooling to the printers and everything's working as normal. Okay, right. Well, let's close that down now, and don't want to save my changes. As usual as well, we've got some bug fixes in this update, and I won't go through them here, but you can find those on the website. So if you go to our website, www.easify.co.uk, and you go home and click on news, you can find all our latest news articles, the newest ones at the top, and you can look through the old news if you want to see what updates we had in older versions. And for this one, you can click on update number 10, MTD VAT returns, and this will basically give you a sort of a print version, almost of static version of what we've said in the video. So this will go through, you can see links to some of the videos that I mentioned earlier. You can see here how we're showing that you need to get rid of all the black squares on your purchase types, a little bit of info on payment plans and our payment plans video, a little bit of news about our YouTube channel, and you can see a list of the bug fixes in this release. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit now about how to do the upgrade process if you're not familiar with it. If you want the latest version, then you go to our website and you go to downloads and download Easify V4, which always gives you the latest version, and you can see that you can see what the latest version is here. We tell you the latest version and when it was actually uploaded, and you pop in your email address, click on the email me my Easify V4 download link button, and we'll automatically email you the download link for the software. While you're here, it's worth, if you haven't done so already, it's worth ticking the box that says please occasionally email me news about free updates and special offers. We leave that unticked, mainly due to GDPR laws, which don't allow us to sort of pre-tick anything on your behalf. But I would encourage you to tick the box and join our mailing list, mainly because we only send out an email about every 2 months, and the only email we'll send out is going to be telling you that there's free upgrades and there's new stuff for you. So we certainly won't spam you. We certainly don't pass it on to anybody else. So I'd highly recommend you tick the box, or you can always hop to the bottom of the web page, any web page, and just pop your email address in and subscribe here. And you can unsubscribe at any time. So as I say, pop in your email address. We'll email you the download link. Now there are two options you've got when upgrading. The first is that if you're an Easify Cloud Server subscriber and you subscribe to the Easify Cloud Server, we'll handle your Easify Server upgrade for you. That's all part of the service or part of the package. And all you need to do is send an email to support@easify.co.uk. Tell us that you'd like your Easify Cloud Server upgrades to the latest version, and we'll arrange a time with you when we can get that done. Now, we can either do it during the day at a prearranged time, or we can do it in the evening. which saves you having any downtime if you prefer. And again, it means that basically we upgrade your Easify server and you just know it's going to work. There'll be no problems, there'll be no issues. If there are any issues, that's down to us and we'll get it sorted and you won't even notice. So if you've got an Easify cloud server, ping us an email and we'll arrange to upgrade that for you. You'll still need to upgrade your Easify Pro client software. If you don't have an Easify cloud server and you run everything in-house and you run it, or maybe you just run Easify on a single laptop, then I'll just show you how you go about that. Now on the desktop here, I've already downloaded the setup application. That's the one we would email you the link for. So you just double click that when you're ready to upgrade. We'll just wait a second while that loads, and user account control will get us to confirm we actually want to run it, which we do. We say yes to that. And then Easify setup is going to initialize and it'll do a few checks. It'll just check a few things on your system, make sure everything's installed properly, make sure you've got all the libraries and things like that you need for Easify to work. And then after a few moments, it's going to launch Easify setup and we're into the Easify setup wizard. So you click on next and then you read and agree to the end user license agreement. And then Easify will look for existing installations. And if you're upgrading, it should find one. So at this point, you would select upgrade because you want to upgrade your existing installation. Click next. Then you get a list of the things that you can upgrade. And if you're running the Easify cloud server, you shouldn't see this. You shouldn't see Easify server. You should just see Easify Pro client and whatever the current version is. My version at the moment is 4.67 because I've been demonstrating that to you in this video. If you're installing this on a single machine in premises, you would expect to see both. You would see an Easify server and you would see an Easify Pro client. The Easify server is basically where your data is kept, and the Easify Pro client, well, that's Easify Pro. That's what you double click on the desktop to launch Easify. So you need to select both of these. You need to upgrade both. So the server and the client needs to be the same version. So as I said, on the first computer that you installed Easify on, you would have both of these. If you've got more than one computer on your network running Easify, there's a good chance that most of them will just have Easify Pro client on its own, and just select that, tick that. And once you've got it all ticked, oh, by the way, I will say as well that if you previously upgraded from Easify V3, you may see an additional entry that says Easify V3. Don't select that one because you will have already upgraded that one and you don't need to do it a second time. If you have one that says upgrade Easify V3, just leave that one unticked. Okay, so we'll click on next and we'll go through the process so you can see sort of how long you'd expect it to take. And you can see at the moment it's stopping the Easify server service, and the server upgrade, it will happen first, and that generally takes longer because there's more to do. So you'll see a few updates on here pop through. Again, it's saying that it's stopping it, it's starting the service, please wait. And it generally doesn't take too long. It may take a few minutes if you've got a slower machine or if you've got a lot of data, and we're done. That's it. I mean, I actually missed it when it said installing Easify Pro client. So that's it. Click on finished, and then you're ready to go back to Easify Pro, and then you can fire that up and you can log in and you're on the new version and you're good to go. Okay, if you've got any questions about Easify 4.67 or anything else you've seen in the video, please feel free to ask a question in the comments below, or you can email us at support@easify.co.uk and we'll do our best to get back to you as soon as we possibly can. In the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and until next time, thanks for watching.